Concepts create applications. So if you have a concept that's inherently flawed, or at least insufficiently explaining the purpose, then the applications themselves can be limited or dangerous. 30 years ago, we were still using in exercise physiology the concept of triplanar movement, which is essentially moving through 3 different planes that break up the human body. The sagittal plane breaking the body into right-left halves, the coronal plane breaking the body into front-rear halves, and the transverse plane breaking the body into top-bottom halves. If that's the foundation for human movement, essentially what you're doing is you're describing the body moving front-back, up-down, and right-left. But the human's much more complex than that. And with such a limited concept of human movement, either you have to get very complicated in how you explain movement, which doesn't help us, or you're incapable of explaining movement minutiae, of explaining details that are critical to the individual. Biomechanics had created, in particular, a borrowed concept from engineering called 6 degrees of freedom. This was an advancement on triplanar movement in that you can still surge forward, backward. You can still sway right and left. You can still heave up and down, the passing through those 3 planes. But there were 3 additional degrees of freedom. The ability to rotate, rolling right-left, twisting or yawing right-left, and pitching or tilting up-down. That essentially doubled the applications of human movement that we were capable of. And that's just looking at the human as a whole unit, as one singular piece. But we're highly articulated. So that 6 degrees of freedom then can even be applied to an individual joint, where each joint has certain degrees of freedom and not others. So again, concepts create applications. If your concept is expanded and becomes capable of demonstrating greater applications, it's a superior concept. Let's remember, science never proves anything. Science only disproves things. So far, this degree of freedom concept hasn't been disproven. We've shown that triplanar movement is insufficient to describe human movement. So when we apply degrees of freedom, we'll be capable of greater movement potential, and as a result, greater human potential.